Welcome to History AI, where we bring history to life through the power of AI. This video presents a chronological overview of the kings and queens who have ruled England, from the establishment of a unified state under Egbert to the current reign of Charles III. It highlights significant achievements, challenges, and the evolution of the monarchy over centuries. There are quite a few to get through, so strap in, as this is going to be a long one. If you like exploring history through AI, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now on with the story. Saxon kings, Egbert, 827–839. First monarch to unify all of Anglo-Saxon England under his rule, establishing the foundation for a united English kingdom. After victories across England, he was acknowledged as the overlord of all English kingdoms. Æthelwulf, 839–858. Known for his victories against Vikings and his devout Christian faith, Æthelwulf's pilgrimage to Rome symbolized the growing connection between the English crown and the Christian world. Æthelbald, 858–860. His short reign was marked by internal strife and controversy, notably for marrying his stepmother Judith, an action that caused a scandal and was annulled by the church. Ethelbert, 860–866, faced the challenges of Viking invasions, maintaining the kingdom's stability. His reign saw the sacking of Winchester, demonstrating the escalating Viking threat. Ethelred, 866–871, reign characterized by continuous battles against Vikings, striving to protect the realm from the growing Norse influence. Died from wounds sustained in battle, demonstrating the relentless Viking assaults. Alfred the Great, 871–899. Alfred's reign is noted for his military strategy against Vikings, securing peace and beginning the unification of England. Also remembered for his scholarly interests and legal reforms, laying the groundwork for English common law. Edward the Elder, 899–924, built on his father Alfred's achievements by consolidating control over southern England and pushing back against Viking territories, furthering the cause of unification. Athelstan, 924–939. His victory at the Battle of Brunanburh was a pivotal moment, effectively uniting England under his rule. Athelstan's reign is marked by significant military successes and the establishment of laws that furthered the integration of the kingdom. Edmund I, 939–946, worked to consolidate the kingdom's unity, facing challenges from remaining Viking forces. His reign was cut short by assassination, highlighting the period's instability. Egbert, 946–955. His reign saw the end of the Viking kingdom of York, bringing the entire English realm under his control. Egbert's rule was marked by his efforts to maintain the unity of his kingdom despite health issues. Hedwig, 955–959. Known for his conflict with the church and Archbishop Dunstan, his reign was marred by personal scandal. Eadwig's division of the kingdom due to his disputes with the nobility weakened central authority. Edgar the Peaceful, 959–975. His reign was marked by internal peace and consolidation of power. Edgar's strong relationship with the church played a crucial role in his peaceful and prosperous rule. Edward the Martyr, 975–978. His short reign was ended by assassination, a victim of dynastic intrigue, highlighting the ongoing power struggles within the royal family. Æthelred the Unready, 978–1016. His reign was plagued by Viking invasions, leading to the eventual Danish conquest of England. Æthelred's attempts to pay off Vikings with Danegeld were ultimately unsuccessful in securing peace. Edmund Ironside, 1016, known for his valiant efforts against the Danish invasion led by Canute. Although his reign was brief, Edmund's resistance against the Vikings earned him the epithet Ironside. Canute the Great, 1016–1035, successfully conquered England, ruling over a North Sea empire that included Denmark, Norway, and parts of Sweden. Canute's reign is noted for his efforts to blend Danish and English cultures, bringing stability and prosperity. Harold Harefoot, 1035–1040. His reign was primarily focused on consolidating his power and dealing with the threat posed by his half-brother Canute. Known for his speed and skill, hence his nickname, Harold's rule was marked by his efforts to maintain the gains made by his father, Canute. Canute, 1040 to 1042. His rule was short and marked by a harsh and unpopular reign, remembered mostly for his sudden death at a wedding feast. Canute's reign was the end of the Viking era in England. Edward the Confessor, 1042 to 1066. Last Anglo-Saxon king before the Norman conquest, his reign was characterized by relative peace and the construction of Westminster Abbey. Edward's death without an heir led to the succession crisis and ultimately the Norman invasion of England. Harold II, 1066, the last Anglo-Saxon king of England, defeated by William the Conqueror at the Battle of Hastings. Harold's death marked the end of Anglo-Saxon rule and the beginning of Norman control. Norman kings, William I, 1066 to 1087. Known as William the Conqueror, his victory at the Battle of Hastings marked the beginning of Norman rule in England. His reign was characterized by the compilation of the Domesday Book, detailing the assets and holdings in his new kingdom. William II, 1087 to 1100. His reign was marked by tensions with his brother Robert over the English and Norman thrones and conflicts with the church. William II's mysterious death during a hunting expedition led to suspicions of foul play. Henry I, 1100 to 1135, known for his administrative efficiency and the establishment of the exchequer to manage the kingdom's finances. Henry's reign saw the issuance of the Charter of Liberties, an important precursor to the later Magna Carta. Stephen, 1135 to 1154, his reign was marked by the period of civil war and unrest known as the Anarchy, fought over his succession with Empress Matilda. Stephen's eventual agreement with Matilda led to the succession of her son Henry II, establishing the Plantagenet dynasty. Now the Plantagenet kings Henry II, 1154 to 1189. His reign was marked by legal reforms that laid the foundation for English common law and conflicts with Thomas Becket. Henry's disputes with his sons and the division of his territories among them would lead to future tensions in the Plantagenet dynasty. Richard I, 1189 to 1199, known as Richard the Lionheart for his military prowess, spent much of his reign abroad on the Third Crusade. Richard's ransom from captivity imposed a heavy financial burden on England, showcasing the cost of military ventures. John, 1199 to 1216, his reign saw the loss of Normandy to France and the signing of the Magna Carta, limiting the king's power and laying the groundwork for modern democracy. John's conflict with the barons and the Pope marked his troubled rule. Henry III, 1216 to 1272. His long reign was marked by the reconstruction of Westminster Abbey and the beginning of the conflict between the monarchy and the barons that would lead to the Barons' War. Henry's reliance on foreign favourites and his devotion to art and architecture were notable aspects of his rule. Edward I, 1272 to 1307, known as Longshanks for his height and military campaigns in Wales and Scotland. Edward's legislative reforms and the establishment of the model parliament were significant contributions to the English legal tradition. Edward II, 1307 to 1327. His reign was marked by military defeats such as the loss to the Scots at the Battle of Bannockburn and domestic strife leading to his forced abdication and murder. Edward's dependence on favourites like Piers Gaveston angered the nobility and weakened his reign. Edward III, 1327 to 1377. His rule saw the start of the 100 Years' War against France, and his victories at Crécy and Poitiers made him a respected monarch. Edward's establishment of the Order of the Garter celebrated chivalry and knightly virtues. Richard II, 1377 to 1399. His reign began with promise, but descended into tyranny, resulting in his deposition by Henry IV. Richard's reliance on court favourites and his attempts to strengthen royal authority provoked resistance from the nobility and ultimately led to his downfall. House of Lancaster, Henry IV, 1399 to 1413, came to power by deposing Richard II. His reign was marked by challenges to his rule, including the Percy Rebellion. Henry's efforts to solidify his claim to the throne and his patronage of religious reform were key aspects of his kingship. Henry V, 1413 to 1422, renowned for his victory at the Battle of Agincourt during the Hundred Years' War, his military successes strengthened England's position in France. Henry's short reign was marked by his charismatic leadership and military skill. Henry VI, 1422 to 1461, 1470 to 1471. His long and troubled reign was dominated by the loss of English territories in France and the Wars of the Roses, a dynastic struggle that weakened the monarchy. Henry's mental instability and the resultant power vacuum led to conflict and eventual division within the kingdom. House of York. Edward IV, 1461 to 1470, 1471 to 1483. His rule was marked by the restoration of stability and economic growth following the turmoil of the Wars of the Roses. Edward's military victories solidified his position, but his reign also saw internal conflict and division. Edward V, 1483. His brief reign was dominated by his uncle Richard, Duke of Gloucester, who placed him and his brother in the Tower of London, where they disappeared, leading to Richard's ascension to the throne. Richard III, 1483 to 1485. The last Yorkist king, his reign was brief and controversial, marked by the disappearance of his nephews, the princes in the Tower. Richard's defeat and death at the Battle of Bosworth Field ended the Wars of the Roses and heralded the start of Tudor rule. The Tudors, Henry VII, 1485 to 1509. Founder of the Tudor dynasty, his victory at Bosworth Field ended the Wars of the Roses. Henry's policies restored stability and prosperity, strengthening the monarchy and setting the stage for his son's reign. Henry VIII, 1509 to 1547, known for his 6 marriages and the English Reformation, which established the Church of England and initiated religious transformation. His desire for a male heir led to significant political and social changes. Edward VI, 1547 to 1553, his reign was marked by the further establishment of Protestantism and the introduction of the Book of Common Prayer. Edward's early death led to a succession crisis and short-lived attempts to alter the line of succession. Mary the 1553 to 1558. England's first queen regnant, she sought to restore Catholicism, leading to the persecution of Protestants and earning her the nickname Bloody Mary. Her marriage to Philip II of Spain was unpopular and failed to produce an heir. Elizabeth I, 1558 to 1603. Her reign, known as the Elizabethan era, was a period of English cultural renaissance, marked by the defeat of the Spanish Armada and the flourishing of arts and exploration. Elizabeth's policies established Protestantism and avoided major conflicts, leaving a legacy of stability and cultural growth. The Stuarts, James I, 1603 to 1625. The first Stuart King of England, his reign saw the translation of the King James Bible. James's belief in the divine right of kings led to conflicts with Parliament, setting the stage for future turmoil. Charles I, 1625 to 1649. His battles with Parliament over financial and religious issues led to the English Civil War. Charles's defeat and subsequent execution marked a turning point in English history, leading to the brief abolition of the monarchy. Commonwealth Protectorate, Oliver Cromwell, 1653 to 1658. As Lord Protector, Cromwell's rule was marked by his military and political leadership, establishing England as a republic and pursuing a policy of religious tolerance and military efficiency. His death led to the eventual restoration of the monarchy. Richard Cromwell, 1658 to 1659. His brief tenure as Lord Protector lacked the authority and support enjoyed by his father, leading to his resignation and the restoration of the Stuart monarchy. The Stuarts restored Charles II, 1660 to 1685. His reign, known as the Restoration, brought about the re-establishment of the monarchy and the Church of England. Charles's policies were characterized by a degree of religious tolerance and the development of the arts and sciences. James II, 1685 to 1688. His overt Catholicism and attempts to restore absolute monarchical powers led to the Glorious Revolution, resulting in his deposition. James's reign ended with the establishment of a constitutional monarchy under William and Mary. The Glorious Revolution. William III, 1689 to 1702, and Mary II, 1689 to 1694. Ruling jointly after the Glorious Revolution, their reign affirmed the power of Parliament over the monarchy, leading to the establishment of a constitutional monarchy that balanced the powers of the monarchy, Parliament and courts. Anne, 1702 to 1714. The last Stuart monarch, her reign saw the unification of England and Scotland into Great Britain and the War of Spanish Succession. Anne's death without surviving heirs led to the succession of the Hanoverian line. The Hanoverians, George I, 1714 to 1727. The first Hanoverian king, his reign was marked by the establishment of the cabinet system of government, effectively laying the foundations for the modern parliamentary system. George II, 1727 to 1760. His reign saw the last British monarch leading troops into battle and the beginnings of the Industrial Revolution, which would transform British society. George III, 1760 to 1820. Known for his long reign, the American Revolution, and his bouts of mental illness, which led to the Regency Act. His tenure saw significant changes in British imperial policy and the loss of the American colonies. George IV, 1820 to 1830. His regency and reign were marked by cultural flourishing, but also by extravagance and unpopular personal conduct. His major achievements include the founding of modern Regency architecture and the extension of the British Museum. William IV, 1830 to 1837. Nicknamed the Sailor King for his naval service, his reign saw the passage of the Reform Act of 1832, which began the process of modernizing the British electoral system. Victoria, 1837 to 1901. Her long reign was characterized by industrial, cultural, and imperial expansion, known as the Victorian era. Victoria's influence helped shape British politics, society, and the expansion of the empire. The House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha-Windsor. Edward VII, 1901 to 1910. His short reign was noted for modernizing the British home fleet and fostering good relations between Britain and other European countries, an era marked by relative peace and economic prosperity. George V, 1910 to 1936. His reign saw the tumult of World War I and the beginning of the transformation of the British Empire into the Commonwealth. The change of the family name to Windsor occurred under his reign as a response to anti-German sentiment. Edward VIII, 1936. His abdication, less than a year into his reign, over his desire to marry Wallis Simpson, a divorced American socialite, was a constitutional crisis at the time. Edward's abdication led to the ascension of his brother George VI. George VI, 1936 to 1952. His leadership during World War II and the post-war recovery strengthened the monarchy in the 20th century. George VI's reign was marked by significant social change and the beginning of the decolonization of Africa and the Caribbean. Elizabeth II, 1952 to 2022. The longest reigning monarch in British history, her reign saw significant political, social, and technological changes. Elizabeth II's tenure encompassed the decolonization of Africa, the accession of the UK to the European Union, and the subsequent withdrawal, reflecting a period of profound change both domestically and globally. Charles III, 2022 present. Following the death of Queen Elizabeth II, Charles ascended the throne, marking the continuation of the Windsor dynasty. His reign begins in a period of global challenges, with a focus on environmental conservation and public service. This comprehensive script covers the major monarchs listed in the document you provided, offering a brief overview of their reigns and significant contributions or challenges faced during their time on the throne. We've traced the lineage of English royalty, witnessing the transformation of a nation and its monarchy through times of turmoil, triumph, and change. The story of England's monarchs is a testament to resilience and adaptation, reflecting the enduring legacy of a centuries-old institution as it continues into the reign of Charles III.